Now they're outsourcing really good jobs. I don't know if you know this, but radiologists in Australia read films for Heartland. They read them at night. It's daytime in Australia. Those are jobs that are not available to anybody in the United States. There are companies in India that have staffs of lawyers, if you can believe anybody wanting to outsource lawyers, that have staffs of lawyers that do legal work for companies in the United States. It is easy to do it, and it's happening all the time. So you bring in the issue of global competition, and all of a sudden the law of large numbers kicks in. China. There are more honor students in China than we have students in the entire United States. More honor students than we have students. That's who our 4 grandchildren are going to compete with. We're going to be competing against students in China. And I think that is a pretty tough situation for St. Joe. Now remember my foot race? Think about this. It's not an individual sport, it's a team sport. And half of our team is starting out 2 blocks behind. And that is just not acceptable. We cannot let that continue. Okay, you had it with the bad news? Here's the good news. Maybe there's going to be good. There we go. Here's the good news. It's not only possible to address the issue, it's profitable to address the issue. This is probably my favorite graph to illustrate the economics of the problem or the issue or the opportunity. Dr. James Heckman is a Nobel laureate economist with the University of Chicago and may be the world's most credible expert on the topic of the economics for a community of early childhood investments. And he's developed this graph to illustrate the issue. Now the y-axis on the left-hand side, the vertical axis on the left, is the return on investment for money spent in human capital. The x-axis along the bottom, the horizontal axis, is age. You can see from the shape of the graph that the earlier you make an investment in human capital, this is not an investment in early child, it's an investment in people. The earlier that you make the investment in training people, the better the rate of return. Now here's what I really find interesting about the graph. You see that horizontal line in the middle that's labeled opportunity cost of funds? Opportunity cost of funds in economic terms is, somebody gave me 3 minutes? Ain't going to happen. Sorry, I'm a lawyer, I can't quit. She's trying so hard to fix the time. I told her, I promised her it'd be 15 minutes, but I lied. The opportunity cost of funds is spending the money on something other than people. Now, where the lines intersect is the point at which it becomes a poorer investment to spend it on people. It costs more to spend it on people below the line. The school district lives below the line. That crossover point is down around the 1st or 2nd grade. Money spent for training in children after the 1st or 2nd grade is, in economic terms, a poor investment. Doesn't mean we're not going to make the investment, but it's not very good. The corollary of that is that it costs a whole lot more to fix the problem than it costs to prevent it. Think about putting oil in the car, in your engine. Why do you do that? What's the value in putting oil in the engine? Well, it's because it's cheaper to put the oil in than it is to fix the engine. Same thing applies to children. It's cheaper to prevent the problem than it is to fix it after it occurs. The other good news that I have for you is the local program called Success by 6. It is a local community collaborative effort, and what is virtually unique, and I've talked to people all over this country about this stuff, and I have not found any community other than St. Joe that has the depth of the collaborative effort that's already in place, already existing. Everybody's at the table. The school district is front and center at the table. They are active participants. We just had a meeting this afternoon. Melody Smith, Dr. Smith had some great observations that helped us and is going to lead us down the right path so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And we not only don't have to reinvent the wheel, we don't have to talk people into doing it. They're already there doing it. Final comment, and that's quality. It doesn't make any difference at all if we have a program without quality. A high-quality program is very effective. A low-quality program is not only not effective, but the outcomes measurements have shown that low-quality programs actually degrade the children's skills. They would have been better off not to be in the program than to be in a low-quality program. So whatever decisions you all make in terms of recommendations, whatever decisions your group makes in terms of recommendations to the school district, please, please, please insist that they be high quality and that they be measured. We do those things well that we measure. If we don't measure them, we're not going to do them well and do them well consistently. You're about to see a short presentation on the Perry Preschool Project. Get ready, Zach. The Perry Preschool Project is the gold standard, not only for programs and the type of programs that are effective, it's also the gold standard for outcomes measurement. The youngsters who are in that Perry Preschool Project were followed for over 40 years, and they have extremely credible and extremely good data on what happens when you have a high-quality early educational experience and you don't. Pay particular attention at the outcomes information after you get through the pitch with the program. The outcomes measurement are really critical for us. Look at what the outcome, look at the difference in the educational level of the girls that go through that program. As I will tell you, poverty and a mother's educational level are the two big drivers of the problem. And of the two, the mother's educational level, I think, is the more important. All right, now, Zach, if you would run that, he's going to turn the lights down. Sherry will come up, Sherry Patterson will come up and talk to you before the lights fully recover, because it takes them a while to come back up. So be patient, and I'm turning it over now to the next speaker.
Hello, I'm Larry Schweinhart, President of HighScope and Director of the HighScope Perry Preschool Study. This study offers some of the strongest evidence available of the lifetime effects and economic return on investment of a high-quality, interactive preschool program for young children living in poverty. David Weichert and his colleagues initiated the study in a small Michigan school district in the 1960s to see if they could prevent school failure before it began. To conduct the study, they identified 123 young African American children living in poverty and at risk of school failure. The children's parents averaged only a 9th grade education and were either unemployed or had unskilled jobs. The study has valid findings because children were randomly assigned to a program group or a no program group, essentially by a flip of the coin. The two resultant groups were almost exactly alike in background characteristics. The major difference between them was that one group got the preschool program and the other did not. In the HighScope model of interactive education, the classroom is arranged into activity areas such as a house area, an art area, and a block area. In the daily routine, children plan.
You have an idea about the art area?
I'm going to paint on that.
You're going to paint on the easel?
Do and review their learning activities and engage in small and whole group activities. Teachers help children grow by treating them with respect, engaging them in conversations.
It was a chick.
A little chick, and you were holding it like this.
And supporting their progress in all the important areas of learning, such as language, literacy, math, and social-emotional development.
And you're the daddy. So, did we solve the problem?
I want to be a boy Rudolph too.
Okay, so we have 2 boy Rudolphs. That's okay with you, Joshua?
Yeah.
And that's okay with you, Meredith? Well, I think we've got an ideal that works for everybody. Does that work for you?
In these charts, the dark blue bar represents